Hi everybody, how are you? My name is Luis Jesus Duran, and today I'm gonna talk about learning new skills. As you know, the recession process is almost inevitable. So, one of the things that are very important for us is learning new skills in order to face successfully this situation that is going to affect us uh, globally. Okay. For instance, in my case, I'm pushing myself in order to learn English because English is a good opportunity for me to open some new gates around the world because my message and my professional profile is going to be available for some other people around the world. So, in my case, learning a new language or improving my English language skills is a good way to face this situation. In the same way, it is highly recommended for you to learn new skills. So, in this article that I'm gonna share with you guys, uh, they are going to give you 10 strategies for you to improve your learning skills. So I'm going to share the screen for you to see what I am reading and can follow me up in the reading of this article. Well, the first skill, teach your learning style. Are you a visual learner, or is your learning style kinesthetic or auditory? I tell you a secret. You are none of these. As much as we'd like to believe that we learn better in a certain style, the truth is these have little impact in our ability to learn. In an intriguing talk at text UW Lacrosse, Dr. Messia Marchik shares a startling fact. 40 years of research on learning styles have found that the matching teaching styles to learning styles make no difference at all. In her own experience, Dr. Marchik found that the students learn the same way regardless of the way materials was present to them. Another study was little more blunt in its judgments. The contrast between the enormous popularity of the learning styles approach within education and the lack of credible evidence for its utility is, in our opinion, striking and disturbing. Yet, the myth of learning styles persists, as a quick Google search will show you. So, what's really the best way to learn? It depends on what you are trying to learn in the first place. For example, if you are trying to learn a new language, don't just read the textbook. Watch TV shows, listen to music, and converse with a native speaker through a language exchange app. Let's see what is this app. In an age where everything is available at a click of a button, there are many ways to learn. The key is to interact with the information using multiple sources will help you with this. Don't stick the books alone. Gather relevant videos, podcasts, movies, and blogs as well. Two, the second strategy to learn new skills is make it more meaningful for yourself. One main reason why learning styles don't work is that we learn things in terms of meaning. Finding meaning in our learning is key. A 1973 study by Chase and Simon illustrates this well. In the first part of the test, amateur and expert chess players were shown a chessboard arrangement from a game in progress and asked to recall the position of the pieces. While amateur players could barely recall any position, the experts were able to recall most of them. The experts see the strategy, the meaning behind why the pieces are where they are. In the second part, experts and amateurs were shown boards with the chess pieces arranged at random and asked to recall them. Both groups performed about equally. This time the experts couldn't find any real connection or meaning in the way the pieces were arranged. The same goes for learning. We all learn various facts and figures in school, but how many of those do we actually remember? Only the information that was meaningful to us, that we've been able to connect to our own life and experiences. If you try to force yourself, continue the article, to just memorize random facts, you are likely to forget them. Remember all those times you tried to memorize formulae without understanding their relevance. Again, remember all the times you tried to memorize formulas without understanding their relevance. In order to make your learning stick, it's important to make real life connections and see how it fits in a larger scheme of things. The next time you take a finance class, instead of memorizing a formula, try to understand what relevance it has in practice and how you can use it to your advantage. You will find you are able to grasp the concepts much more quickly. Number three, the third strategy in order to learn new skills is learn by doing, which is exactly what I am doing right now because, as I mentioned before, what I am trying to do is improve my English language skills. So, for instance, if you want to learn Spanish, the best thing that you can do is practice, practice, practice. Trying to talk to another person who speaks Spanish, which is good, and by learning Spanish, many gates, many doors will be opened for you, not only in Latin America, but in Spain, for instance. So by practicing, you are going to improve your level. You will level up. You know what I mean? Okay, learn by doing. Humans are natural learners, and we learn best when we perform the tasks we are trying to learn. No matter how good your grades were at college, most of your learning takes place once you enter the workplace and start applying what you have learned. Let's say, let's say you are trying to learn CEO. Doesn't invest your time in learning the jargon and theory. Dive in as soon as you can to master the skill through trial and error. Start a blog, write a few posts, find out yourself what works and what doesn't. The more you do it, the more you learn. Better yet, build new habits to enforce your new skills. Start small and reward yourself to start building a pattern of behavior that will reinforce what you are learning. The fourth strategy, the fourth strategy is study the grades and then practice. Aspiring writers hear over and over that the best way to write better is to read a lot of books, especially the classics. Why? Because they'll learn a lot more by studying the writing styles of great writers than they would by taking a course on writing. Let's take this advice and a step further. While studying the grades is essential, it is more of a passive exercise. In order to gain from it, you need to apply that learning to your own work as well. One way to do this is to mimic experts until you eventually develop your own style and technique. Benjamin Franklin taught himself to write this way, and he shares in his autobiography. I'm sorry, my pronunciation. I took some of the papers from the Spectator magazine and making short hints of the sentiment in each sentence, light them by a few days and then, without looking at the book, tried to complete the papers again by expressing each hinted sentiment at length and as fully as it had been expressed before in any suitable words that should come to hand. On comparing his work with the originals, he found where he was lacking and started turning the tales into poems and then back again. This is how he learned to express himself better. This form of learning can be applied to any skills, be it writing, speaking another language, or even sports. Compare your work with that of experts in your field, and you will notice areas that need improvement. Then refer back to step 3 and keep practicing your skills. You will notice the difference. Okay, let's continue to the fifth strategy. But before doing this, before reading the fifth strategy, I have to say that yes, try to try to imitate the greatest. As the last example, as we were reading, try to imitate the best poets, the best football players, the best gamers, the best, I don't know, and try to imitate. And then, after some days, try to do it on your own. And then you can see what is left for you to get that goal based on those greatest examples that you were trying to imitate. That's the idea behind this advice. Okay? So let's continue. This is the fifth strategy for learning new skills. Teach what you learn. One of the most surprising ways you can learn a new skill is to teach it to someone else. Much research has been done on this phenomenon, but one study illustrates it particularly well. In the study, two sets of participants studied the same passage with different expectations. One group was expected to teach it later, the other one expected a test on it. At the end, both groups were eventually tested on the material. Guess which group did better? Yet, the one that expected to teach it. Why is this such an effective way to learn? Because when we learn with the intention to teach, we break the material down into simple and understandable chunks for ourselves. It also forces us to examine the topic more critically and thoroughly, helping us to understand it better. You don't have to be an educator major to use this trick. Try explaining what you are learning to friends or coworkers. If you are learning a new business software or skill, ask your boss if you can make a presentation to your team about it. See if you can field all their questions. Write regular blog posts or make blogs while you are learning. See if you are able to express what you learn in simple words. The results might surprise you. I remember when I was in high school, the first grades of high school, some years ago, and I remember that I I didn't study for the exams. I only have one morning because I had to school in the afternoon. So I only have one morning available to study. study properly saying. And what I usually did, what I usually used to do was to uh, write schemes down. I mean, like some structures, and I was like trying to teach or play as if I were in the theater and trying to explain what I was learning in the same way. I don't know. So it helped me to learn in a proper way, as if I was teaching. So that's the idea behind this advice. Try to teach what you are learning because you are gonna learn in a proper way. It's going to be easy for you to apprehend the knowledge that you are trying to learn. For instance, in this case, in my case, in this moment, what I am trying to do is get fluency and try to be more accurate. That's the word. And have enough vocabulary to express myself in a proper way, uh, and not only trying to communicate basic ideas. No, I'm trying to be more accurate in my English. So you can do the same no matter the topic you are trying to learn. Okay? Okay. You don't have to be an education major to use this trick. Try explaining what you are learning to friends or coworkers. If you are learning a new business, okay, well, I already read this. So the sixth strategy, is spend more time practicing things you find difficult. This is very important, and I will tell you why. Practice in itself is great. If you are practicing things you know well, you are doing it wrong. In order to excel at any skill, you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone and practice things you aren't good at. This is known as deliberate practice and was popularized by Anders Ericsson. Ericsson and his team studied expert athletes, violinists, and memory champions and found that they spent a lot of time improving areas they were weak. Additionally, they consulted their teachers to find out where exactly they were lacking. Along with expending more time on your weaknesses, Erickson also emphasizes the importance of concentration while practicing. If you are practicing while your mind is all over the place, you are not getting much out of it. So, the next time you seek to practice a new skill, step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. Concentrate on whatever is most difficult for you, and with time, you will find you achieve a higher level of overall efficiency. Yes, because most of us uh, are always trying to learn what is more comfortable to us. Uh, just because we enjoy doing these things, and because we enjoy it, it's going to be easier for us to do that. But we avoid doing things that we reject or that we don't like. So being a master is about being good not only in the things that are easy or easier for us to do, or the things that we really enjoy, and we like the most, but being a master means being good in things that maybe we don't like, we don't enjoy, we reject. So in many ways, the secret of happiness, I'm going to be a little bit philosophical in this part of my speech. The secret of happiness in many ways depends on our ability to adapt ourselves to the reality and embrace that reality. And in many cases, we don't we don't like that reality. But it's a process of learning how to like and find the good aspects of that reality. And when we extrapolate that idea to the thing about learning new skills, it means that we should learn the things, the fields that we really don't like. Because people try to avoid things that they reject. So if we act as the majority of them, we are not going to excel our learning skills. We are not going to be masters. And that's the idea behind these strategies, trying to improve, to level up our skills and get that level of master. Okay? Well, let's continue. The seventh strategy, take frequent breaks. The brain, the brain has two modes, focused and disfocused. For learning to happen, both modes are equally important. While in focus mode, you are able to learn the nitty-gritties of a problem. In this in this fuse mode, in this fuse mode, you are better able to see the big picture and bring it all together. You might have noticed this happening in the shower when you are not focusing on anything in particular. Then you suddenly remember the fact that was eluding you or the solution of a problem. It is important to let your brain relax for a while after a particularly intense session of study or practice to give it time to connect the dots. One good way to practice this is using the Pomodoro technique, which is which has you work on a project for 25 minutes and then give yourself a 5 minutes break. After four such seasons, that is 100 minutes of work with 15 minutes of break, you take another break for 15 to 13 minutes. This technique helps to keep your mind invigorated and ensures you don't suffer mental fatigue. Equally important is learning how to procrastinate productively so your brain has time to truly recharge itself. Yeah, and this, for instance, in my case, what it helped me a lot is trying to do totally different activities. In reality, all our activities are not so different because we are the same person, we are the same human being. So all of them have some things in common in our mind, in our soul, and in our body. But for instance, in this moment I am reading and speaking in English. My goal is to teach you some ideas in order to help you the thing related to learning new skills. It helped me also because I am not only learning these ideas, but it helped me to communicate my ideas in another language. Okay? But for instance, I like running and I like reading things regarding to theology, and I like to pray, and I go to a church, and those activities are um, in many ways not related. They are not related, but I can find that the ideas when you are, for instance, running, what you are learning here, have a different meaning, or maybe you wonder different ideas, or maybe, I don't know, you know what I mean. The same when you are reading the theology, for instance, you are reading the Bible, you are reading the life of some saint, or something like that, or maybe you are in the mass, in the church, and you connect the dots of another idea or of another thinking. So it helps a lot to disconnect, to not be focused on something all the time. Mm. I think that it gives you some creative thinking. On the other hand, you have to look after the things that won't help you mentally. Mm. Okay, so the next strategy is test yourself. Test yourself. We all love to hate tests in school, but do you know just how effective they are in helping you learn? Turns out testing is one of the best ways to boost learning, even if you are simply practicing on your own and not taking a high stakes exam. Testing even beats out methods such as rereading and reviewing notes when it comes to making sure your learning sticks. An examination of the study techniques of top students by Elevate Education found that while most students reread notes before exams, top students spend time solving problems and taking practice exams. Why is testing so effective? Because it takes recall a step further. Recall shows how much of the material you remember. Testing shows you how well you can use what you have learned. After all, that is the ultimate goal of learning. Okay, so it's a good idea for us to, well, testing, could be a little bit stressful. I know that. I mean, I think that is part of our memories. Go to school. I still have some dreams as if I were back in the school, sitting an examination that I didn't pass, and some professor or some teacher is in the classroom, and in the dream he tells me, well, this is your examination, this is your paper, and I was like, oh, your sheet, I mean, your sheet of paper, and I was like, but well, wait a minute, It's been ages since I left school. I mean, I'm professional. I have some works, and the teacher says, no, 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 no. Those things are not valid anymore. They, you have to see this examination because it's the last examination which is left. Yeah, uh, yeah, it's a horror, a nightmare. Okay, night, night strategy. Find a mentor. Find a mentor. Mentorship is perhaps the quickest way to take your skills to the next level. A mentor helps you navigate your field by offering invaluable perspective and experience. Initially, look to friends, family, and coworkers for an expert in the skill you are trying to learn. If you come up with no one, start branching out your search to your larger community and industry. When searching out experts, describe what you have to offer rather than what you will gain. For example, maybe you could manage their social media accounts or help write their website content. Whatever services you can offer, be sure to let them know. Business coach Michael Hyatt says, though a true mentor may be difficult to find, it's not impossible. If you have one in mind, start by building the relationship just like you would anyone else. Don't lead with, will you be my mentor? That's like asking someone to marry you on the first date. Instead, get to know them, look for opportunities to be generous, start small, and see where it goes. The key is starting. The worst a person can do is say no, so ask. And the last but not least, perhaps the most important of all of these strategies that I am reading is be curious. Be curious. Okay, let's see. Let's try to fix the text. Okay. Nothing stimulates learning quite like curiosity. So, as Mrs. Fritzl from the Magic Schoolbook Bus famously said, ask questions, make mistakes, and get messy. Instead of instead of a textbook guide you're learning, you take the lead. Seek answers from many sources. Don't merely memorize theories and techniques. Question them at every step. Think about why they matter, why they are relevant. Tinker with the tools and knowledge available. See what you end up discovering. You may end up surprising even yourself. So, yeah, if you really like a topic, if you really enjoy a topic, just try to investigate, just try to evaluate, just try to, you know, to learn more and more about it, you know, causes, consequences, things like that, because you don't even know what else you could enjoy by investigating and learning more about the topics that you currently like. So the idea behind this strategy is to stimulate your mind by investigating by your own research. That's the idea. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to. Yeah, I would add. something that is, I don't know if that's a word in English properly, but don't be afraid to be ridiculous, okay? Because those guys who are around you won't learn while you are actually learning not only new skills, but maybe you are learning how to avoid bad experiences. So I think that those strategies are pretty good when we are facing different events, when we are trying to, like in this case, face a challenging situation like a recession around the globe. So, well, I hope that this video blog in English, because English is not my mother tongue, so I am pushing myself in order to be outside the comfort zone. And that is something that you should do, not in terms of learning a new language skill or new language in general, but in general, not only in terms, I am talking about in general about new skills, no matter what kind of skills. But obviously, if we are talking about if we are talking about face a recession process in the US or UK, Europe, Hispanic America, whatever, yeah, you should be careful in terms of what kind of a skill you want to improve. Mhm. Okay, well, it's been almost 37 minutes. I hope you enjoy this video. If so, please thumb up, like this video, share this video, comment this video. If you don't like my English, please tell me, I don't like your English. You are speaking it, you are spelling very bad, you are not accurate, you are not fluent, whatever. It will help me to improve my English language skills. As I mentioned before, this is an effort to improve my English by doing by giving you valuable information. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. If you are at the end of the video, and see you in the next video with this kind of topics. Bye bye.